In this video, I'm going to show you how to access the course material. How do you get to Newton? How do you pay for Newton? And then what does it look like once you're there? What does the instruction look like? What do the problems look like? And there's one other thing that I've done to try and help you navigate the instruction and finding the instruction, finding the help that you need. So here we go. Alta, Newton Alta is the program that we're using. And I'm gonna kind of go through these slides a little bit. I didn't create this. I'll give credit where credit is due. I got this from Alta. So you are going to get a code from me, and I'm going to show you what that is in just a second. And you can use that to you just kind of click on that link, and it'll bring you to where you need to be. On the main D2L page here, right underneath this video, is your course link. So it's right there. Click on that. Send you to the right spot. Once you get there, it's going to ask you to create an account. So you fill in your information, your name, birthday, and I think they just want to make sure you're old enough to kind of sign for yourself and you're not a 14-year-old. With your email, I recommend, and Newton recommends this too, but I recommend you use your school email, either your Riverland email or a different school email if that's where you are. Part of that is junk mail. My idea is I don't want to put my personal email on this because if I get any junk mail from Newton, then it goes to my school account and I don't have to worry about it as much. But please use your school account just because it's probably the safest thing. So create your account and then you sign in. And you're going to be able to see the entire class. You can see every single lesson. You can go through, see all the tests and everything, but you can't click on anything. So you'll be able to see the class, but you can't do anything yet. So if you get to that point where you just can't click on anything, you can't access any of the lessons, it's probably because you haven't paid for it yet. At the top of the screen, you're going to see where it says purchase. So it's going to give you the class title, Algebra 2, and then a link for purchasing. This is where I'm gonna jump off of my PowerPoint, go to a different page. Here are your payment plans, your different options for payment. If you're buying directly from the Newton website, so you haven't gone to the bookstore, you're buying it right now, you have three options. You can do the monthly plan, $10 a month. So we've got, 6 months? Is that right? Something like that? August, September, October, November, December, 4 months. Sorry, 4 months that you're going to have for this class. So you can buy it that way. You can just do a single term. So you get access to this class for this term. And when the class is done, that's it. That's your plan. So it's comparable to a monthly plan for a 4-month class. You can also do the Alta Pass if you know that you're going to have other classes. If you know that you're going to have maybe next semester, if you know that your instructors can use Newton, then you can buy this 2-year plan. So you can get that 2-year plan. Those are your three options. I'll let you decide what you want to do for that. I have no stake in this. If you went to the bookstore and you purchased the access code for this text from the bookstore, you can redeem that access code here. So you've already bought the access and you got that access code. You enter the code right there. So those are your 4 options, really. You got 3 options directly from the website in Newton and 1 option here where you can purchase the access code from the bookstore and redeem it there. So that's how you purchase and get to it. Skip ahead here a little bit. There we go. Then you can start. So once you bought it, then everything will open up and you can start. Rather than going through the slides on how this all looks for more instruction and all that, I'll jump over and show you what it looks like as a student here in a second. I'm gonna skip that. Okay. A couple things I want to mention before I show you what it looks like as a student is kind of the whole premise of Newton and how they're set up. The idea is to save you time, but I'm going to explain how that can go the opposite direction here in a second. You can kind of watch your progress and see how you're doing in different areas and different lessons. And it tries to narrow you in on, they call it targeted learning. And you'll see how that works here in a second too. But as you answer questions, it's going to move you along through the lesson, through the practice. And if you get questions right, you just keep on going. If you get a question wrong, it'll give you another question like it. So a similar question, maybe you made a small error and once you fix it, you've got it. But if you get enough wrong, if you start getting questions wrong more than a couple times, one thing that it's going to do is it's going to start reverting back. So it's going to start to take into account that you don't know this yet. You don't know some, maybe those, you don't know some of the precursor knowledge that you should have learned before this, and it'll go back. So it's got material. It's got Newton. The program has questions, has lessons from before Algebra 2. And so it'll pull you back, or it might pull you back to a different lesson that you've already passed. If you're, 2 months into this class and you're already halfway through, it might revert you back to some stuff you've already done. And that's where that saves you time thing can go the opposite direction. Is if you're guessing, if you just click, trying to get through as fast as you can without really reading the questions, without trying very hard, you're going to invariably, the probability is against you, you're going to get questions wrong more than you get them right. And Newton is going to start to push you back in the opposite direction. And so don't guess. It actually goes against you saving time if you guess on these problems. The personalized learning. Before it starts to revert you back, it's going to do everything it can to help you before it does that, is it'll start to break a problem apart. A lot of times in math questions, it isn't just one skill. You need to have 5 skills ready to answer that one problem. And one thing that Newton does a great job of is if you get a problem wrong, that's a big problem, then it'll break it apart into smaller pieces and start to kind of build up to that big question. And that also allows Newton, the program, to narrow in, there's that targeted learning idea, narrow in on which part of that problem you're struggling with and help you with that. So Newton is built to try and do some of those things that I would normally do in a direct instruction classroom. And so take that into account. The number of questions you have is going to vary. It's going to say at the top 12 to 25 problems because it depends on how well you're doing with it. If you're getting questions wrong, if you're making mistakes, then you need more help. So it's not trying to penalize you. You're not getting more questions because I don't like you or Newton doesn't like you. It's that we want you to do the best that you can and learn the material that you need to learn. So again, it says right at the top there, don't guess. Do the best that you can on it. If you're stuck on a question and you don't know what to do, you don't know how to do it, you feel like you just want to guess, you do have a couple of options. The first option that I would suggest is what they suggest here. Click on where it says more instruction. I'm going to show you what that looks like in 1 second. One point about this is if you don't guess, if you click more instruction, it won't count against you in that reverting you back piece. So Newton doesn't treat it the same. Asking for more instruction is different in the Newton program than just guessing and getting it wrong. All right, let's see what that looks like. So here is the class. This is just a sample section. So this is the same lessons, but it doesn't have the same title. And you're going to see right away that there are 5 lessons that say optional. These are optional. You do not have to do these lessons. They are not a standard for this class. They are not a requirement for this class. They're not extra credit. If you do them, awesome. If you don't, okay. You don't have to. They don't help you. They don't hurt you. For your grade, they don't help you. They don't hurt you. The reason I have them here is some of you are going to feel stronger in math than others. Some of you are going to come into this where you don't feel like you have a good foundation in math, and it's been a while, maybe it's been a couple of years since you've taken any math, and you're feeling not the best about starting this class up. So this is some remedial stuff: fractions, decimals, integers. If you feel like you're not on stable ground to start with these optional lessons. They're a great help. You don't have to finish them. If you get into it and go, oh yeah, that's how it works, I remember how to divide fractions, you're done. You can stop halfway through. I don't care about those for your grade. One other thing with these optional lessons is if you are coming into this going, you know what, I got this. I can add fractions. I remember how to do that. Eventually, and you can see I've done the class, so I've got some check marks here, but eventually you're going to get way down here to something called rational functions. Rational functions are fractions with polynomials, x's and y's, instead of just numbers. If you get to that, so simplifying radical expressions is that very first lesson in this unit, multiplying and dividing rational expressions right here, adding, subtracting rational expressions. If you get to those and you go, oh yeah, I knew how to add and subtract, I thought I knew how to add and subtract fractions, I need a reminder of how to do this, go back to those optional lessons. They're going to stay up there until the class is done, so you can always revert back. You can always go back into those lessons. Okay, I'm actually going to click on one of these since I haven't done them yet. You'll notice I've done the rest of the class, but I haven't done the optional ones. So I'm going to click on fractions, and this is what it looks like. So you're going to see that I haven't started yet, and here I can keep going. I guess I clicked on it a minute ago. I can keep going. In fact, let me even go back. I'll click on a different one. I'll click on decimals. There we go. So no activity yet. Haven't clicked on it at all. I haven't started it. Here are the objectives. So there are 4 objectives, 4 things that you're supposed to be working on. And you'll see right here it says estimated 16 to 36 questions. It's a big range. Again, it could be 16 questions would be like 4 from each objective, 4 questions from each one. If you're getting them right, if you're getting them wrong, it's going to keep going. You have a couple of options at this point. You can just click start and jump right into it and do a question. Or you can start with the related instruction. This would be great for these optional ones if you know that multiplying and dividing decimals, that's really what you want. Rounding decimals, I got that. I don't need to do practice on rounding decimals. I really need multiplying and dividing. So for these optional ones, it might be best to start where you feel you need the help. But I'm going to click on the related instructions so you can see what that looks like. Some of the instruction will be a video. And so you can click on that video, watch a short instructional video, and then you would continue on to a question. Before I show you what a question looks like, I'm going to go back. If it's a video and you don't want a video, if you go back and you click on that instruction again, it's going to come back, and now instead of a video, the same lesson has like a textbook instruction. So it gives you that text. It depends on what you're looking for. If you want to go back and forth, video, text, you can just keep clicking on that view related instruction. It'll oscillate between those 2 forms. And again, it depends on what you're looking for. So if you see this text and you go, I really want a video, go back, click on it again, and you should be able to find that video. Here's my question. I'm going to get this wrong. I'm going to guess about -25, which is wrong. There's a decimal here, but I'm not going to spend my time in front of you on the video working it out on a piece of paper. Nope, I got it wrong. Okay, with multiple choice, it gives you 1 try. However, with fill in the blank, you get multiple tries. Still going to get it wrong, probably. Yep, still got it wrong. If you get it wrong, I was pretty close though, look at that. -27, no, I wasn't close, never mind. So it gives you the correct answer, and it gives you an explanation. It walks you through the whole thing. This is also true if you get it right. So if you get the correct answer, because lucky guess, it happened to be -27.4815, that'd be a very lucky guess. It will still show you the correct way to do it. And here's the explanation of how they got the answer and all that other stuff. So whether you get it right or wrong, you still get an explanation. And then you can continue on. You'll notice I did get it wrong. And so it's giving me some step-by-step. How to. It's giving me a little bit more involved, that kind of targeted practice. And going from here. So much easier question, 14.2 multiplied by 100. and I'm going to get that one